Once a man know you are not connected with your family, he know you ain't.
Now, y'all, listen to what this brother just said. More specifically, I want to bring out the point of be very careful what you tell people in the early stages of your dating. Be very careful with trauma dumping. Be very careful with like sharing anything really negative about yourself when you are just meeting someone, because people who have a bad intent definitely do use those things and put them in their back pocket, just like this gentleman is saying, to use against you later, to switch the game up later, to manipulate later. And he was specifically speaking to, telling people that you don't mess with your family or you don't have a family. Or maybe like me, I'm a transplant. I'm in Atlanta. I'm from Louisiana. So I'll be like, oh, I don't got no family out here, which I do have family out here, thankfully. But if you don't have any family somewhere, you just moved there and you're all by yourself. All of those things, people with nefarious intent, they love things like that because they know they can single you out. They know, as the brother saying, they can make you dependent on them by showing a lot of effort up front and then falling back once you get hooked and you emotionally hooked, you sexually tied in, like you were completely tied into them. They didn't got mental control. You probably done stop talking to your family, stop talking to your friends, because some of us do that when we get in relationships. We stop talking to folks that we know. Oh, and we just focus so much on this great person that just came into our lives. And I'm not saying all together, nothing is wrong with that, but you still want to have balance when you are in a new relationship. But something specifically that I have definitely learned as a grown woman, be very careful with different traumas and different major things that you share with people you are just bringing into your life. It really should be a few months before you tell people, several things. I mean, if it's something like, I got narcolepsy and I might get up in the middle of the night and walk off the balcony, that's different. But, like traumas that you went through, things that you went through in the past, different things that are really interpersonal, you shouldn't be sharing it with anybody that you just met as far as in a dating situation. Especially not, y'all, I'm just saying, like, we feel like this is things that we should know or blah blah blah, but some people really don't know this, especially if you're younger, your early 20s or something like that. And they got people my age and older. I'm 40, gonna be 42. They got people my age and older who still don't know this. Yeah, I mean, I tell people if I'm dating or trying to date someone, I tell you the important stuff. I have a child. I have a young child, because a lot of people my age have already had all their kids. Their kids are grown if they had any kids. So I made that known. I have a child. I have a small child. You don't need to know my child's name. You don't need to know my child's sex. You don't need to know anything except for I have a young child. And I have a good, non-negative relationship with my child's father. We have a good relationship. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know anything else. General things about you. It don't take all of my personal trauma for you to decide whether you like me as a person or not. It don't take all of that, because people are going to find out what they need to find out about you. You don't have to tell them all the intricate details. This happened to me when I was 16. And, you don't have to begin to overshare about yourself. And we do that sometimes, especially if you're talking to a person and they have a good chatty personality, like they're open, they're making you feel comfortable. A lot of people who are manipulative, and I think I have talked about this in a previous live, well, not live, but in a previous post, that a lot of people who are manipulative, they have a very, very charismatic personality. And you feel open when you're talking to them. You want to tell them your whole life story, but that's how they get you. Like, I remember specifically saying this in a previous post about dating with a girl who had the guy came and stayed over her house overnight, and then he was trying to get in her bedroom. She wouldn't let him because it wasn't like a sexual thing. She was doing him a favor. And then once she finally called the cops, she found out he was about to unalive her. And he had her whole living room set up where there be no blood found. Okay, so people who are our most prolific serial killers, a lot of them, like the Ted Bundys and people like that, they were very charismatic. They know how to let your guard down. They know how to get you talking, get you open, all that type of things. And it may not be as far as somebody trying to unalive you, but a lot of people have learned the way to, especially to let get a woman to let her guards down so they can get all the information they need to get on you, put it in a back pocket. They know how to use it, when to use it. So no, you don't need to tell anybody your personal traumas. You don't need to tell nobody if you like alone, you out here, you scared. Like, you don't tell people negative things about you in the initial parts of meeting them, because none of us are perfect. We all have some negative things going on in our life. We should be working on those things, especially if we are here dating other people. We should be working on those things, actively working on those things, actively taking care of our traumas, actively working on ourselves. But don't just go sharing your entire life story. I'm giving a person the high points that they need to know, because it's something. If I got a child, a small child, and we middle aged, people need to know that if they want to date me. You know what I'm saying? They need to know that. Maybe not the first time that we talk, but at least once we get into decent conversation, or second date or something like that. Or if they ask me outright, I'm going to tell them. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to shuck and jive. But you're not getting intimate details about my life when I first met you. So you know how to play the game if your intentions are not right. Some people's intentions are truly pure, but even with those people, I find that it's still best, don't go in telling them like a lot of things about your life. You've had a lot of negative things happen in your life, and maybe you're past that. You've done the work that it takes to get past that. But still don't go in just, oh, I'm just going to share everything with this person, because a lot of times people who have just met you, they're not able to handle all that. In a sense, like when you meet somebody, you at the elevator, or you at the bus stop or whatever, and you're like, hey, how you doing? They don't want to hear that. Oh, I'm at the bus stop because my car just got wrecked, and I got fired from my job because I couldn't make. They don't want to hear all that. They just saying, "How are you doing?" You were supposed to say, "Oh, I'm doing fine," or "I was, it was kind of a rough day, but I'm okay." You ain't gotta go into your whole life story when you just meeting somebody in the initial phases of dating, because honestly, if you have done the work, it's not necessary. If you have not done the work, then a lot of times we will use that as ways to like, okay, I'm about to let you know why I'm crazy before I show you that I'm crazy. So just be mindful of those things, especially my ladies, but gentlemen too. You do not have to share your trauma, your whole family story. Like I've had a lot of death in my family, different things like that when I was very, very young. And sometimes people who are also very, very scared. I told one guy one time that I was chatting with. We had never met in person. We was just talking on the phone. I told him that I don't just go on a date with everybody who asks me on the date because I'm busy. I don't have time. If I don't feel like this conversation is going nowhere, I'm not going out with you. I'm not going to waste your money for no free meal. I'm not going to do that. He took offense at that. He took really offense. So you just would never know some of the things that people may take offense in that you would say, or they may get scared, or they don't really know you. So they don't really know if you've done the work to heal or not. So them hearing certain things, even if they have good intents about you, it can still scare a good person off, because we're all out here in this dating world, men, women, no matter your sexual orientation or anything. We're all out here in this dating world, and we're all a little scared. So just be calm. If you've done the work, it's going to show up. If you have not done the work, it's going to show up. And if you are the person that's on the opposite end of that, just be mindful, be vigilant. When you are talking to people, you're interchanging with people, pay attention to behaviors, pay attention to actions, pay attention to patterns. Don't pay attention to the words that come out of nobody's mouth or nothing they spinning on you or none of that. Pay attention to actions, pay attention to behaviors, pay attention to consistency. And a lot of people will say, like, oh, a man buying me something, that's action. That's action. But if a man got it like that, it ain't nothing for him to drop you a little change. Now, if a man don't have it like that, and he is kind of, spending a little something on you and not going above his means, but, he's spending a little something on you, then that's different from a man that's got it like that, and ain't nothing for him to drop you some change. So that's why I say, like, spending on somebody is not always, like, a proof that somebody really has good intents about you either. So just stay vigilant, stay mindful. I really love this post. Y'all go check it out. Make sure you listen to the full thing from the brother. And follow me if you're not already, because I don't know why you're not. And I'm on Facebook. Fan the Base, not, oh God, the disgusting book. Fan the Base as the.amanda.nora.